Hey Carl, let me show you some stuff. We're going to focus on what I'll call drag, and some areas seem to drag on and makes it feel longer than it is. So right now we have a 13-minute video, and I estimate this thing could definitely be in the 9-minute range just based on just watching it. I do apologize. In Google Drive, I now put condensed drone footage version 2. What I had earlier was, I'm sure you saw, was this, and it was just this one clip. What I meant to do was render all of it, because I took an hour of footage and cut it down to just the gold, and you can see all sorts of gold in here. And I'll give you a little bit more of a demo on that soon. Anyways, so it's obviously missing a lot of the best footage because of this, but there's still things that we can cut out, and then I'll show you what is in there. So let me show you the first part.
Hi, I'm hot. I'm Ryan Jinks.
So the first few seconds captures whether or not they're going to stay. And we're going to want to add some B-roll as soon as I start saying where I am. So there we go. Let's show what I'm saying. So let's do that.
I'm Ryan Jinks, and I am in Tonsai, Krabi, Thailand.
Boom.
And I just spent
So a lot of this stuff, especially at the beginning, it's more important.
And
I'm going to cut that out, right? So then when it cuts right back,
Krabi, Thailand. I just spent a week here doing something I have almost never done before, and that is trying to be romantic.
So let's take out the climbing, and let's show, let's build up to the joke.
Just spent a week here.
Yeah, I guess I could just do that.
And I just spent a week here doing something I have almost never done before, and that is trying to be romantic.
Okay, let's just see how that goes. So this is the whole beginning.
I'm hot. I'm Ryan Jinks, and I am in Tonsai, Krabi, Thailand. I just spent a week here doing something I have almost never done before, and that is trying to be romantic. It was my girlfriend's birthday, and we decided to come here since she also likes climbing. And we had a little bit of a learning curve, and I've made other beta videos in the past about mostly Yosemite, either where to highline or how to...
Okay, so that spot right there, where I've made other beta videos, this is where I would add my own clips after you deliver this, right? Because that is something you could never know all my previous videos, right? So this is perfect for me to show you. This is the stuff that I want to detail later. Now, the only problem I have is this clip is definitely too long. So let's see if we can get another. That's one Tonsai. I might have another general. Let's see if that kind of spices it up a little bit.
In Tonsai, Krabi, Thailand. I just spent a week here.
Let's
I'm
try
Ryan
that.
Jinks, and I am in Tonsai, Krabi, Thailand. I just spent...
Yeah, that's a nice pace. Okay.
These are things
So here's a great example. This is perfect for me, to show me, because I'm talking directly to the audience.
If you don't like it, tell me. Just stick to breaking things in the comments.
However, it might sound like I am just going to ramble on and on and on.
But
So the butt and the little, the really long section there, especially because we're in the first 60 seconds, I'm going to take that out, and we're going to...
these are things I wish I knew.
This is where the montage, and let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Let's just, for example, I'll talk about the montage in a minute. Move that there.
Just stick to breaking things in the comments. These are things I wish I knew about a week ago.
So, this works, but I want to jump right to the next thing.
Just stick to breaking things in the comments. These are things I wish I knew about a week ago.
And so nothing has been cut out technically. If anything, we've even added clips, albeit their drone footage I didn't give you yet. So a lot of the montage is fun, but it's definitely long. I would say people want to get to the beta. People want to get to the information. And so I would say at the most, maybe 20 seconds, maybe in here. How long would that be if I cut that? 30 seconds, 20 seconds right in here is all the montage should be. And because it's its own clip, I'm just gonna, like, that's okay. Maybe that clip instead. The boat ride, not so much. This I like. That's a beautiful clip, right? And I'd like the text to say how not to Tonsai. So how not to Tonsai. And it can have all the decorative square and stuff. That's great. So change the title, please. Oh, it's gonna... But like using that clip and then that clip, it doesn't feel like enough of a variety. And like that clip doesn't seem to have like a... It's like a almost too short without a purpose. And let me show you this. Oh, by the way, that clip right there, I'll show you some money shots. This stuff right here where I'm climbing, that's obviously fast, but now you can't use like 30 seconds of it. And if you use it in the montage, then maybe don't use it here. If anything, it could almost be used in there, but I like those clips. That's funny. Just like, that's a good shot, whatever. Let's see. I like the monkey shots. That's a good one. Right there. That's where you'd cut it off, because that action of him falling's done. You don't want to show him swinging back. I like the way all those clips look because we're in the middle of an action and then you cut it. That clip we've already used, so I would say since we're cutting stuff out, let's not recycle. I would say let's save this rainy boat stuff for when I talk about rain, how it always rained on us. Those are okay. Yeah, whatever. That's definitely too long of a boat shot. I definitely wouldn't show the bird eating off the plate. We could just like get a lot of people mad about that. So let's take that out. See, there's not a lot of action going on. It's hard to see anybody up there, so I'd cut that out. Nobody's climbing, they're just hanging. And we don't need to speed this up if we have other action shots of climbing. Like, that's good. I think this was used twice of me running up, so let's just use it either here or wherever the other spot was. That's where you would start that clip. Not me preparing to fall, but me starting to... Boom! Cut. Yeah, we can... Maybe we can just end with me falling. Because that sounds like, woo, we're having fun, you know? So then let's make that 20 to 30 seconds. And then let me focus on, let me find another drag spot. Okay, so here is a little detail that makes it feel a little slow.
Know it, and you have your shoes on.
If this is really a lot of what I focus on is I cut off that. Because it doesn't cut off anything of her face, which is hilarious. And then...
Have your shoes on. Another fun fact. In context of being...
I'd cut it off there.
In fact, in context of being after climbing season in May of 2022 and right after the COVID quarantines have been lifted when you enter Thailand. Come to find out, everyone's over there in Railay, the beach next door.
Now, something to know is obviously we got a lot of climbing. So let's see if we've got some Railay. So all of the drone shots of the main area. By the way, that's the other hotel with all the palm trees. So that's the shots you would use for that. That shows the other beach. So then you'd go boom. So this is Railay, in case you're wondering. That's Tonsai. And I'm standing here while I point to everything. If that gives you context and helps you. So let's see what this sounds like.
Everyone's over there in Railay, the beach next door. So if you're looking for a party, there it is, that way. See this beautiful green jungle? It has 2 trails to get over there, except during high tide, it's a little bit tricky because to get around the rock to go over to the Freedom Bar over here, you might be up to water.
So that's kind of like this cut right here.
Around the rock to go over to the Freedom Bar over here.
It's, yep. I'd say let's punch in on those people. Because I talk about you're going to have to,
water up to your, around the rock to go over to the Freedom Bar over here. You might be up to water up to your waist in order to get there.
So they saw that.
Also not a problem if you know.
I'll just cut that back. No gaps.
Order to get there. Also not a problem if you know that. And honest, $18. So things are cheap.
So we're talking about boats, right? And you show this clip here, which we'll talk about. But we have a lot of boat footage. So let's show a little bit more. Now this footage is been used, right? So she looks cute right there and all that. But we haven't used this part, right? And that's kind of a really cool shot. And so let's use that.
Railay. And so you're not going to get to Tonsai. If you want to rent a boat entirely, it's going to cost you 600 baht or $18.
So that's a good cutoff point. Let's see if we got another one. So to travel around, that phrase, right? It shows that there's more than just boats, right? Even though we're talking about boats. So let's do that.
So things are cheaper here in Thailand, but to travel around, fuel is fuel, time is time, boats are boats. It still costs some money.
So this is something I found kind of dragged. And let's say, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's drag this guy. So now let me show you what I was thinking. Like right here, the only shot that's good is not his, legs, right? It's him bending down and smiling, right? So that's a fun thing. So right before he bends down.
Boats, it still costs some money.
And then right before he goes back up, he's like smiling. So let's add that right there. We'll keep the sound. Technically, where did that thing go? I want to keep that then. We'll just shorten those up. All right, so that one, and then right there. And right before he goes back up, there, that's what we got from him. Boom. Because we don't really need... He didn't say anything. Nobody said something, intelligent or something worth listening to.
It's going to cost you 600 baht or $18.
I like the cutoff point there.
So things are cheaper here in Thailand.
Boom.
But to travel around, fuel is fuel, time is time, boats are boats. It still is fuel, time is time, boats are boats. It still costs some money.
And let's bring that down. Let's see what the next shot is.
Boats are boats. It still costs some money. I do find lodging to be...
So that just eliminates that entire clip here that was this scene, way shorter. And this entire time I talk about boats, you now get three shots of transportation, since that's a topic. So let's talk about this climbing scene, how this could be all condensed down to one thought, let's call it. Me struggling on a rock, right? That's the theme.
Europe, for example. So Tonsai is a climbing mecca. If you climb 7s or 512s. If you climb 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Little drag. I know there's like a pause for effect, but let's just do this.
Mecca. If you climb 7s.
So let's just cut it down. See how that looks.
Or 512s.
I'll click that.
Cute smile. We don't need more of it. So then this is me like struggling, right? Just lots of struggle. Lots and lots of struggle. So it's me going for this hold. So it's like, boom. So that's the story, right? I go for it, and then I make a joke. You know how it's a hold? So let's see what that...
12s.
Okay, it's good. More inside. Use your legs.
I got this.
Nice.
I got it. Just...
Put your feet up a
Hold on.
little bit higher so you can reach it better. Yeah, and then right foot up. There you go.
And then right foot up.
Yeah.
Let's try
And
that.
then right foot up. There you go. Stand up.
Let's do this. Boom.
512s.
And then right foot up. There you go. Stand up.
Nice. I was just like hoping. I went for a hope.
Sometimes I don't like when the camera transitions, so let's see if we can time it with audio. Hoping. Cut. And right as it like goes, you know, once the add adjustment's done. So let's do this.
Hoping. I went for a hope handful.
You can't see my lips, so let me show you what I like doing here. This is something I do a lot. So I'll unlink.
For a hope. For a hope.
Boom. And because you're just listening to the joke, right? And so like, boom. I do that a lot.
I went for a hope handful. Everything.
And because you can't hear and it's funny, I could even put text on it later if it doesn't sound right.
I went for a hope handful. Everything's overhanging here.
What I might do is so let me show you a text. If we can use the Lucida Grande, stroke, black, and I use 15. So then I can change any text you add, but then the text would be on there. It doesn't even need to be fancy, right? It would just be like a little bit easier to understand.
It's like hoping. I went for a hope handful. Everything's overhanging here. So I don't find the grading to be as hard as, let's say, Yosemite.
Man, I'd almost put that because it like breaks up the thought.
Hoping. I went for a hope handful. Everything's overhanging here. 7s or 512s.
And then right foot up. There you go. Stand.
Let's try this. Let's see what that sounds like.
7s or 512s. Everything's overhanging here.
And then right foot up. There you go. Stand up.
Nice. It's just like.
And then let's just tighten it up.
Everything's overhanging here.
Thought is over. Let's cut that down. Okay. And this is what I did with the other videos. I just cut.
Everything's overhanging here.
And then right foot up. There you go. Stand up.
Nice. It's just like hoping. I went for a hope handful. So I don't find the grading.
We don't need the word so, and so it's like let's.
I don't find the grading to be as hard as, let's say, Yosemite or Index. 3, 2, 1, go!
That clip isn't super relevant, and I already spliced, so.
Yeah! Wow, that's so crazy of a climb.
I like the phrase. It doesn't fit too much here, and I know it's like the B-roll.
The grading to be as hard as, let's say, Yosemite or Index. 3, 2, 1,
The falling, like, this is good for something, right? But not here. So let's see what we...
As hard as, let's say, Yosemite or Index, but it is a little harder than, let's say, a climbing gym that makes the grade soft. But I definitely got a 512 climber. Does it take a little bit of work to get used to the blade glasses? Gym that makes their grade soft.
We just did it. The thought's over, right?
Does it take a little bit of work to get used to the blade glasses? Yeah. The blade glasses?
So this is how I would cut the drag. Since cutting the drag is the focus, right?
Yeah. I find that quite hard in the roots because there's like a
So let's do this. Let's cut them there.
To the blade glasses?
Yeah. I find that quite hard in the roots because there's like a contrast. You have the sun shining down from behind.
I've never done blade glasses.
I like to use the hybrid ATC Grigri blade.
So
I've never done blade glasses.
I'd say cut that. Nobody's talking, right? A lot of my drag is based on audio, right?
I've never done blade glasses.
I like to use the hybrid ATC
Are you punched in here? Let's... Nope, you're not. Okay.
Grigri belay method.
What is that?
Grigri belay method.
Okay, so let's get rid of that transition.
What is that?
Make the Grigri into an ATC.
What is that?
So transition's over, right? Let's get rid of that.
Method.
What is that?
Make the Grigri into an ATC.
Yeah, you have so much slack, it's like...
Grigri into an ATC.
Yeah, you have so much slack.
So, like, the joke's been made, right?
Yeah, you have so much slack, it's like... Well, honestly, that's a much softer catch.
She's about to click, so.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So there's like no new information, right? It's just us talking about the fact he's got a lot of slack, which I don't want to bring attention to the fact he's got that and he has a good reason, whatever, right? So we just eliminated a whole bunch of seconds there.
Grigri into an ATC.
Oh gosh, she's way up there.
Bolting this was really hard.
Oh, yeah, how, like, do you even do that? Hooks?
No, I just put expansion bolts across the roof,
Oh, okay.
but like just pumping because I have to hold the dough.
So you can't really hear clearly, right? And it's about bolting, not about whatever. So let's, like, we just eliminated a whole bunch.
ATC.
Oh gosh, she's way up there. So we found one or two routes over here in the Tonsai area that we could...
Now this is a problem that I have to learn how to communicate well, right? So this is all the climbing we did with these guys is in Krabi, which is like in Aonang, right? So that's a different area, right? The 360 footage, so all of this is Tonsai, where it's just her and me, right? So we could do, in this section, we want to show her climbing, right? So there she is. And there, she moved her legs. And that's good. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Here in the Tonsai area that we could work our way up.
Okay, so let's just put that there.
So we found one or two routes over here
Boom.
in the Tonsai area that we could work our way up.
Yeah, that one. Nice.
Yeah, nobody's doing anything really cool. That just shows us really sucking, unless we're making a joke about sucking. So let's just do that and see what this is. So we're just like really
But
trimming it down to something
One or two
useful.
routes over here in the Tonsai area that we could
Boom.
work our way up. But most of the 5.9s or the 5s are in Relay, on the 1, 2, 3 wall or the cave area. So most of the climbing is over there for us. The social aspect is over there, more shops and stores over there in Relay. In Relay. On the 1, 2, 3 wall or the cave area.
I don't have any footage. And I don't know how I would tell you I didn't have any footage since you don't know all these climbing walls, right? So let's just say, this is why it's nice to have the Premiere file. This is the stuff that I would tighten up.
So most of the climbing is over there for us. The social aspect is over there, more shops and stores over there in Relay. And being that we're just like average climbers looking for a normal
So you're getting the pattern. Anyways, I'm looking at audio real quick. So there's a little audio in here, a gap.
thing. Now Tinity Resort is not awesome. Tinity Resort.
Let's do that. Boom. Now, I like this sign, right? I like that sign. It's not awesome.
Not awesome.
So this is where this drone footage is going to come in. Okay, so this is the drone footage right here. Yeah, minute 31 I'm at right now. And that's going to drone.
Is not awesome. So little history about Tonsai is all of the village or base camp was right along the beach.
So let's show me talking about that.
It was right along the beach until 2014 when a big resort came in, bought all the land up, pushed everybody back into the jungle, deforested everything, planted palm trees, and put a wall along the beach until 2014 when
Let's do this. Because I want the deforested thing part here.
or base camp was right along the beach until 2014 when a big resort came in, bought all the land up, pushed everybody back into the jungle, deforested everything, planted palm trees, and put a wall. The jungle, deforested everything,
I like what you did there.
planted palm trees.
I like what you did there. So I'm going to keep that and not put, you know, this footage on top, but I'm going to have it already shown here, right? Let's see here.
From the beach where there's no wind.
That's a perfect use of a gap, right? Perfect.
Stoke right out of you. I'm not to climb in Thailand. Don't do it at noon in the sun.
That's actually really funny. It's perfect. Let's actually, this is the opposite of cutting. Let's add a little.
At noon in the sun.
Hold on. Right before I start looking back. So let's see how that looks.
Do it at noon in the sun.
There we go.
Did not take care of ourselves during Stoke. You make it look so easy. Wow. I guess you have more track pads than me.
Yeah, I think so, guys.
Yeah.
And barefoot, you can feel the rock. With your crouching shoes, you can feel the rock.
So if you're like, throttle is up here, just expect it to be lower when you show up to climb grades you're not used to. We have to do a lot of cool things here. It's just I find that I understand why a lot of people nap. We took a boat out to the island, super cool to get into the water and see some fish and a lot of jellyfish. About
So yeah, see if you can cut some stuff out. Let's see here. This was great. I love that.
so are dependent on high tide. Like the water's getting closer on high tide.
So let's do this. Here's a good example of cutting.
Like the water's getting closer and closer.
Let's keep the word like. And let's move that over. See how that looks.
High tide. Like the water's getting closer and closer to our camera here.
Me breathing, me thinking of the next line.
Walking just to and from Tonsai to Rayleigh.
Boom. Cutting that out. Cutting out seconds here and there adds up. So
Kind of tide dependent. Walking just to and from Tonsai to Rayleigh, kind of tide dependent. And then if you want to go climb at the wall over there, tide dependent. If you want to climb at 1, 2, 3 wall, tide dependent.
that was perfect. I love that. The punching, 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 right? There's a pattern. This is funny. Let's see here.
Pretty bad here. Hold on, I got distracted by a bug.
Welcome to Thailand.
Make sure you take lots of
And so what's good about this is I would say titanium bolts tested coming soon. And that way people like know, you know, you don't have to add that. I could add that, right? Because that gives context to why him and I are interviewing.
You take lots of DEET with you, and we soaked all our clothes in permethrin before we came, and we're smearing picaridin all over ourselves. And whenever I get laxatives about it, I am a buffet. I don't think they've had dengue here for a while. It's cooler. It's also less rainy. Supposedly we're in the monsoon season.
Getting ready to climb.
Oh, yeah?
And it's only rained like every time we got on a boat. It's stormy.
Think about right if you weren't soaking wet in a storm.
I know this kind of goes without saying, but drink a lot of water. I don't feel like drinking water, and it basically kicks my ass.
This was a good use of footage because I only talked a little bit here. So you can't obviously B-roll all of those clips in here. So I thought that was good.
Drink a lot of water. I don't feel like drinking water, and it basically kicks my ass when I'm not doing it. Oh, by the way, the monkeys are in the trees. So if you're looking for monkeys, go like this, and you're more likely to see them. It took us about 5 days to figure that out. Anyways, if you like beta videos or places that you might visit as a climber, let me know if you like that. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Okay, so we did make it mostly to the end. So definitely cutting down that montage will really help. All the stuff I brought up. And then let's just bring up another thing that might add value as long as the text is something I can adjust, right? Because this is going to be mostly for break tests. This is very important for break tests. So
let's start at the beginning. Everyone who gave me advice when I came here was get the out of was get the gave me advice when I
So let's do this.
Let's start at the beginning.
Boom.
Everyone who gave me advice when I came here was
So the advice, right? So the advice was we could do maybe like 1 out of Bangkok, right? Because that's the, that way people know where they are in the video. And this is like going to be break test numbers and stuff later, right? So trying to interpret what I'm saying into like 10 things you need to know about Tonsai. So
one who gave me advice when I came here was get the out of Bangkok when you arrive there.
So let's see how that looks, because I like that thing. And if it's this font, right, we can figure out fonts later. This works for my computer. And it would just be in the corner.
Was get the out of Bangkok when you arrive there. They were right. I should have listened to them. And then the other thing is you can get cheap flights down. You can get cheap flights down to Krabi from Bangkok. But if you've got climbing gear from Bangkok.
So I'd cut that off there, right? So we can show the next thing. The next tip would be 2. If you have lots of luggage. So like that's the idea. You could be like cheap flight. You can word it however you want. I could always adjust the wording. But if the text is right here and easy for me to just double click, then there you go. I can easily adjust that.
But if you've got climbing gear, highline gear, and camera gear and stuff.
Is that like a propane tank behind there?
Yeah. And you don't have enough baggage, and you happen to fly, hypothetically, Vietjet Air.
Okay, so I'm gonna save this copy. But I'm going to have you make those adjustments so you really can learn about by doing it, but also look for additional things. Maybe like even tell me a couple things you cut out, because I obviously didn't go through all of it. But we're still at 12 minutes. It definitely could be cut down. I think if the montage is... So I cut down this montage. Obviously it needs to be cut down strategically, not just I cut it in general. We're at 11 minutes. I bet you there's a way to cut this down to almost 10. And I'd like to see if you can do that without, cutting out any essential parts. If you can't, don't worry about it, but just see what you can do. And if you can make the corrections I made, you can even add a little flair. Now that you can look at this and see if you can even add a little bit more spice, because there are some really cool clips in here that we got. Like me going up this thing. Obviously, you can't show the whole thing because that's just going to drag. This is us climbing the roof. But then when he falls, it would just be just this one clip. It would be a really short clip, and then you'd cut it there. Could be even in the montage. See, that's a really cool clip of us climbing. You could even, I don't think speeding that up. Anyways, those are a lot of thoughts. See what you can do about it. See if we can keep this really tight, and then we can work on more details in the next edit.